Great, welcome to another edition of TokStocks. I'm your host, Keir Reynolds, and today we're lucky enough to have Irfan Kazemi, CEO of Horizon Copper. Trades on the TSX Venture Exchange with the ticker HCU. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for stopping by, taking some time out of the SMI conference that we're attending here in Zurich. How's your morning been so far? How's the session?
Great. Yeah, it's been pretty packed. A lot of investors looking for good copper stories, and we're happy to oblige and tell them about a new copper name out there.
Well, without further ado, maybe you could give us a little bit on your background. How'd you sort of get into the business, and then maybe provide an overview on Horizon.
Yeah, thanks for that. I've been in the mining space for some time now. Joined a company as CFO, 15 years ago almost, and during that time helped grow it from a few hundred market cap company to a multi-billion-dollar company that now trades on the Toronto and New York Stock Exchange. And during that time, raised over $1 billion of debt and equity financing. And just to give you some context, some of the things I did, I was named one of country's top 440 to one of the top 3 CFOs to the Globe and Mail's 50 best executives. And so I saw a lot of things, saw things that worked, things that didn't work, and negotiated with some of the largest mining companies. And I wanted to parlay that experience into a commodity that I fell in love with, and that was copper. And so a couple years ago, we started Horizon Copper, a copper company that's looking to become the premier mid-tier copper company over the next decade by acquiring all these minority positions all over the world. And so really excited to be telling people our story.
Awesome. And so maybe you could expand a little bit on Horizon. What do you own? What jurisdictions are you in? Maybe what stage the company's at?
Yeah, sometimes we can get really stuck in the weeds and stuff. So maybe I'll step back and just talk about why I think Horizon's pretty unique in terms of copper plays out there. So in terms of the asset quality, I think if you're looking at companies below $1 billion and a half market cap, it's hard to find a well-diversified, copper company. In our case, we've got 3 world-class assets in our portfolio today, minority positions. So we've got an interest in Antamina, which is the 3rd largest copper mine in the world. And through our 20% ownership in Entrée, we have an interest in Oyu Tolgoi, which is going to be the 4th largest copper mine in the world. And we have a 30% interest in Hod Maden, which is one of the high-grade gold and copper mines, which has its key permits and is looking to go into construction. And so this is a unique portfolio, but what's unique to our story is, unlike a junior copper company, we have diversification from jurisdiction, from Peru, Mongolia, and Turkey, to diversification when it comes to the assets, but also the operators. We've got some of the largest operators in the space moving our projects forward. And then the third thing that's unique to our story is not only great assets, great operators, but we have tremendous torque. But what I mean about that is we've got about $250 million enterprise value, and our market cap is really tiny in comparison to that enterprise value. It's about $50 million US. And that difference is all leverage. And that leverage, unlike what you find in the mining space, it's actually really nice leverage. It's got no financial covenants, not owed for another decade, and held by one strategic partner that's helping us grow our business. And in return, they're getting a right of first refusal on any copper assets that we acquire where we decide to sell into the precious metals. And so they are able to grow their business and we're able to grow ours. So that's the high level overview of Horizon Copper and what we've been able to build over the last year and a half, short time.
And in terms of the 3 assets that you own a position in, how did you acquire those? Were those writing a check, or was it a swap, or maybe just explain a little bit about how you acquired them and the structure of those investments?
Yeah, so we acquired them from our strategic partner initially, interest called on Hod Maden. And in return, we did a gold stream on it, and also the Oyu Tolgoi interest that I mentioned through our ownership in Entrée. The third asset that we acquired, our most material asset, and the most recent one, we were able to acquire this 1.66% interest MPI royalty on Antamina, which is the 3rd largest copper mine in the world. And it also happens to be one of the most profitable mines in the world, commodity agnostic. And so we were able to get that, and in return we helped finance it via 1.66% of the silver to our financing partner. So they're able to grow their business, we're able to grow ours, and we've got a pretty, I think, tremendous portfolio on all first quartile assets.
Do you guys, what sort of revenue expectation should we have as potential shareholders?
Yeah, it's a really good question. You know, my background, I did my undergrad in mathematics, and I think one of the most important things to shareholders is how much cash flow is actually coming into the company. And so I like to use that metric. And right now, with our most recent acquisition, Antamina, you know, that cash flow is about 10 to 15 million US to us on an annual basis, based on prices now. And I think that's an asset that will be cash flowing for many, many years to come. They just announced in the last year they extended the mine life by another 12 years. And we're hopeful that'll continue for many, many years to come, these kind of expansions and making a multi-decade mine life. And then when you look at our other assets coming online with Oyu Tolgoi and Hot Maden, you know, in 10 years, you can look at our company and look at spot prices and go, oh, you're cash flowing your market cap on an annual basis or multiples of your market cap on an annual basis. And I think that's pretty compelling.
So I guess it would be, you know, I guess I could say you provide unique leverage to the copper price because you are going to be receiving revenue stream or cash flow from actual sort of world-class top-tier mines.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I'm really excited about is if you can get the investment thesis right on good assets run by good operators, you can get, I think, outsized returns. And the way we structure the enterprise value is, you know, if your enterprise value increases by 10%, it goes all to the equity holders. So you get this torque of like, you know, 40% accretion just based on that 10% increase. And I think that's really compelling. And it's important that, you know, your strategic partner that holds that debt is aligned to you. And that's why they own, you know, close to 30% of our company as well. And contractually, we don't have to pay that debt for almost a decade, which is nice.
Excellent. So you're over here, you're attending a European conference. It's in Zurich. What are a couple of things you're hoping to accomplish while you're here?
Yeah, I think we're unique in the category of we're not looking to raise any equity. So, you know, we're in the wonderful position of we have cash on our balance sheet. We just announced recently that we have a 30 million US revolving credit facility with some large Canadian banks plus a 20 million accordion. So 50 million of US capital there. We're able to move our portfolio forward in a credible way without having to go tap the market. So what we're doing now is telling the story, telling people, because they've never heard of Horizon before. They don't know our business model, they don't know our portfolio, and a lot of people are surprised to learn about us. And so you'll continue to see us do that over the next while of introducing people to Horizon and why we think we're a compelling story.
What's your cap structure look like? How many shares are outstanding? How much do insiders own?
Yeah, we've got about 86 million shares outstanding. Our strategic partner owns 34% of us. When you look at just the management team, it's 7%, but when you add family members and the rest and people who are connected, it's probably closer to 15%. So you got close to half the company that's essentially tightly held, and the rest are institutions high net worth that participated in our public financing to go public.
And approximately what's your market cap today?
It's about 50 million US.
Excellent. Any near-term catalysts that investors should be on the lookout for?
You know, over the last year, I've been telling investors, one, we're hoping to get a revolving credit facility in place. That's done. We're hoping to get coverage launched from us by a large Canadian bank. They just recently launched coverage, so people can go listen to our story, but also look at a third party as well and get a different eyesight on it. And then we had anticipated that Rio Tinto, the operator of that, you know, Hugo North extension, would by the end of this year come onto the development or onto the ground that we have our interest in through Entree. And they just announced in the last week that they're actually in development ore. So we're looking forward to eventually them coming into production on our ground and more news coming out of the drill results that I think are pretty phenomenal. And then over the next while, you'll see hopefully more good news on Hot Maden, our third asset, how that asset's moving forward and being progressed by the operator. So it's a wonderful position to be in, and I'm excited for the next year.
Well, thanks so much. I appreciate you taking some time out of your busy conference and giving us an overview on Horizon Copper. Thanks, Irfan.
Pleasure. Thank you.